Okay, so far this month we've been talking about we started with dream and then went to our vision board and then set our goals, and now we're going to talk about systems. We're going to make those goals happen with a plan of action on how to do this. Now, systems are one of those things where it's this buzzword. I feel like you hear a lot. Some teams seem to have a magic system. You'll see some companies claim, like, come over to us. We have this great system that's going to help you get to the top, and you don't have to do anything. You just plug and play, so they say. But honestly, at the end of the day, there's no magic system. Like, you just have to do the work, and you have to be willing to do the things. And there is I have created lots of different systems. You can go back to the team page and you can find some that seem to be total flops, some that you may still find value in. Like, I've tried so many different things. Some people won't even look at it. Like, I have spent hours and hours and hours creating videos that have 10 views, and it's just like, I don't know what to do. And that's the thing. At the end of the day, you can create a beautiful system, but if the people on your team don't follow the system, it's not going to do anything. And if you don't follow the system, it's not going to do anything. So you need something in place that works for you. And like I said, you can go to the team page and look at our ambassador guide. I have a 5-hour work week. I have checklists if you like checklists. I have videos if you like videos. There is content created out there that you can use, but I want to cover with y'all today, like, the main things that you need to be covering in your system, and really emphasize, do not overcomplicate this business, because it's really not hard. And so what it boils down to, there are 5 main topics that I want you working on and doing something in every single day, or at least 5 days a week. Of course, it's okay to take a day off, but you have sharing, mining, connecting, supporting, and coaching. And so we're going to start with sharing. So this may look different to everyone. And this is why I say, with these systems, what works for you, it might be different than what works for a different team. But your goal of sharing is to lead capture. That's really it. Your whole goal when we're sharing Plexus is to capture some leads, some prospects. We want some prospects to come out of this somehow. This could be a one-on-one. This should be sharing at the grocery store. This could be cold messaging. This could be posting in your stories. This could be hosting a party. This could be whatever it is. Remember that your goal is to lead capture. Like, I want names written down of people who are prospects who I can follow up with later. So that is always our goal when we're sharing Plexus, is to try to capture new leads. And that's why things like, having polls and stories. So, and try to think of things out that are creative like that, and constantly be staying up with the trends of what's going on social media to lead capture. But remember, that is our goal when we're sharing. The second thing that we're going to be doing is mining. I like the word mining because I was a data analyst. That's what I did, was I mined data. So that word might be foreign to you. It's a very familiar word for me. But basically, if you're mining gold, you're sifting through a whole lot of dirt before you find a flake of gold. And a lot of what our work is doing on social media is, after we've shared out there, is we're going through and we're connecting with people. We're joining Facebook groups. We're creating relationships. We're finding new friends. We're mining through the people to see who is going to see our post that we shared and become a new lead. So, but it is important to do this aspect of it. You need to be connecting. You need to be engaging, because if all you're doing is sharing, no one is going to see it. So you have to do the mining part. You have to go through part. You have to constantly be adding new people onto your social media network somehow. So our goal in mining is to connect with new people who's going to see your Plexus post that you've shared. So that's our goal when we're doing the mining, is to find new people to see our shared content, to lead them back to that. The third thing that we're going to be doing is connecting. And this is connecting people to a third-party validation tool. So this is connecting people to something that, this isn't like you connecting with them on a personal basis. This is connecting them to a group. We're either going to put them in the testimonial group. We're going to put them in the reset group. We're going to put them in a 3-way chat. We're going to connect them to something that is not you. because at some point, a lot of your prospects are going to need to hear from somebody other than you, especially if they're family, if they're close friends. Those are the people that are least likely to trust you, which feels crazy, but they're like, oh, I know her, like this is her 10th MLM, whatever, or I know her, like she's my little sister. There's going to be something that's going to make them need a third party validation. And you're also going to need to kind of like take a break sometimes, like let somebody else like pour into this prospect of yours. Let them hear another story, let them hear something else. But you have to do the connecting. Like that connecting piece is important. So you have to put them into something to connect them to that. And so, and again, this can look different for everybody, but use the tools that we have set up. If you have people interested in a reset, even if they haven't purchased the reset, add them to the reset group so that they can see the before and afters of other people, because every single week, people are going to be posting those photos and they're going to see that, and it's going to build that belief. So our fourth one is supporting. And I didn't say this along the way, like with connecting, when you're connecting people, some of these people you're connecting are actually going to already be your customers. So, because you're going to have people who, as soon as you share, they're going to order. They're not even going to need to go through the steps of the funnel before they become your customer. They're going to become your customer instantly, but you still need to connect them. Like it's super important if you want them to stay your customer to connect them somehow to some third-party validation. But then there are going to be other people who you're going to work with for years before they become your customer. And this is every side of the spectrum is normal. And so support, and the goal of supporting here. So your goal of connecting is to connect prospects and new customers to resources outside of you to get that third-party validation. And now we're supporting, and our goal of supporting is to help the prospects order or help the current customers stay ordering. So this can be both for prospects and customers. We either want our customers to be successful and to keep ordering, or we want our prospects to finally decide to pull the gun or pull the trigger and order. So this is your follow-up. So that's what this step part of the system is. This is your follow-up. So have a system that you can be consistent with on following up and making sure we used to say follow-up Friday, but really follow-up should be part of your everyday work. It should not be just a once a week thing, because you're following up constantly with different people. Hopefully you have hundreds of people to follow up. You have prospects, you have current customers, you have old customers. Like there are lots of different buckets we can put in our follow-up, but it is so important to continue supporting our people along the way. Once they've ordered, this should not be the end of your journey with them. Like we really need to be making sure that we're helping them reach their goals, and they're helping them understand that Plexus is a tool. It's not a magic fix. And if we want them to get those results, we need to be talking to them about other things outside of this tool, like what is their water intake like? How is their health? Are they on medication? Are they exercising? Are they eating clean? Are they drinking daily? Like, do they need to be cutting things out? Do they need to be adding things in? Like this, just help them understand that you are here just to be their coach through this whole health journey. Like that's your goal, that's your job. And so make sure that they understand that support. So again, our goal of supporting is to help the prospects order and to help our customers continue to keep ordering. And then the last piece, which is a very, very vital piece, if you want this to be more than just your own efforts, and that's the coaching piece. And here is our goal, is to get our new customers and our happy customers to share Plexus and start at the beginning of this funnel. So they'll start sharing and mining and connecting and supporting. And that is your goal. That is a big piece of the puzzle for you and a big part of your work process, because if you don't do the coaching aspect, you're going to end up with just a whole lot of level ones, and it's going to be a constant like turnover. And so you want to be wide, but you want to be deep. We need both depth and width in this to have a really stable team. And so sometimes coaching is with your level ones, but sometimes it is tap rooting. So be sure that you're aware of your team sometimes. Do you see a spot where that duplication is stopping? Like, is there a point in your team where the duplication is no longer continuing? Like, do you need to reach out to those people and make sure they're following the same process? Make sure they're doing the things, make sure they're plugged in and they're connected to the right groups, make sure they're sharing. So these are things where we do need to start. If you're seeing a place where maybe a leg of your team just ends, it just dies there and they can't get past that, make sure you're reaching out to that leader there and connecting with them and coaching them and helping them so that the team starts to flourish and grow deeper. So you want width, we want depth. I think sometimes we're afraid of depth because we're not getting paid as many points on those people. But I promise, as someone who's been in this for 10 years, people roll up all the time. I have people who were once my level 7s who are now my level 2s, and so it happens over time. People leave, people change, things happen, life happens. And you see that work that you put into start to come to fruition, but it also just creates that stability. If somebody leaves, there's always somebody to roll up. So it makes your business more stable. So don't be afraid of depth. It's actually a really good thing to have both width and depth. Of course, width is important. So again, we have sharing, mining, connecting, supporting, coaching. And I literally cannot emphasize enough to don't overthink this. Don't spend a whole lot of time. I've spent countless hours creating things that were not used, that were a waste of my time, that I could have been spent just coaching people and reaching out to people and doing my own work. So try not to use the tools that are already out there and try not to overcomplicate the process. Unless it's something that is just like in your wheelhouse and you just passionately want to create it. If it's something that you're like, oh, I don't want to create this, this is too much work, then don't, you really don't have to. So I want to hear from you guys now, what do you feel like, is there a piece of this that you're missing? Is there a piece here that you have not, be really honest, that you haven't been doing? I know for me, I haven't been sharing. I haven't been doing the very basic piece. And I don't know why. I'm really good at all the rest of it, but just the very number one beginning process, I've been very inconsistent with, and I need to massively make changes on that. How about y'all?
I mean, for me, the biggest piece I think I've learned just recently is the coaching, and that not because I'm blinders on, can kill it, but I can't do it all by myself. And it's not that I wasn't willing to coach. I just didn't know how to do it or how to go about it. And the first time I ever heard tap rooting, I think was when I went to the leadership thing in November. I mean, as far as understood, oh, okay, so I'm not overstepping my bounds and all of those things. And so,
Debbie, think if I had not tap rooted with you.
Right, but I didn't know that word and what that all meant, and I didn't put 2 and 2 together. But it does make sense what you did. Exactly. I mean, and that totally makes sense. And I think a game changer for my business right now is that. But the problem I'm seeing is I'm offering it, but nobody wants it. That's one. But I realized, you know what? All I can do is offer, and I'm going to find people who want it, who really want to lock arms with me and go for it, and not beg people to come along with me. And anybody's welcome, but I want to find people who want it. And I'm being more bold in when I've always shared, and you know that I'm consistent with that, but I'm being more bold about sharing about the business side because I was always shied away from that. But I'm sharing more about it privately with them once I get them on. And like my new girl, she's trying to go fast, start sober. And it's interesting. So it is, I see that missing piece. And it's coming together. But also when you talk about the tap rooting part, for the longest, for many years, I thought, well, I'm helping my people, and I learned how to help people along the way and help them be successful. But I didn't take that responsibility for the others, that people were just signing them up just to get 3. And when I put 2 and 2 together and started doing that, that's where it kept being more and more stable for me, and stays stable and growing, where I don't just drop like half my points, if that makes sense. I mean, it fluctuates, but it's not drastic, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. And for anyone that didn't see, I posted on the team page today, Debbie and I are leading an opportunity call tonight that's going to be focused on the business. If you have prospects that y'all want to add it to, the link is on the team page. Okay, who else?
I think you're right, Nikki, that I haven't been posting like on my wall, like stories all day long, but I think it's just Facebook burnout for me. Like I have to get back, back to the basics.
Mm-hmm.
One of the other things I've had for 8 years now is I started my own little health page, and I do kind of like what you do on whatever the team health page you do, Nikki. I've done that for years, and I've met different people along the way that have added me to their pages. And so I'm on different pages too. And so I just load Buffer, and I have it post once a day. And so we do that ATM add, tag, and message. And that has been key for people who say, well, I don't know enough about the products to share. They always, and we have like, I don't know, 1,000 something people in there. And that's been key to the stability and potentials coming around.
Yeah. Okay, who else? What do you feel like is your weakness in your systems? Where's your missing link? Who feels like they've nailed this?
So can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah.
I've got real crappy Wi-Fi. I'm sorry. So I'm great at the sharing part. Mining, I'm pretty good with mining because I do reach out to anybody that likes, it doesn't matter, likes, comments, it doesn't matter. But then I also, if I share about something that's very intentional, I'm aiming it to a certain person. And that's who I reach out to. Like I'll post it and then I'll go back to them and say, hey, I just posted something I really think will be interesting to you. Actually, I just enrolled somebody from doing that exact thing. Connecting is fine. Supporting, I find real overwhelming. I have a lot of level ones, and then I have a lot of levels 2 through 6 that when they enroll somebody, like Debbie said, they do not do their due diligence. And so I find it real overwhelming, and I'll start off really strong. And then I get so overwhelmed, I'll buffer and just walk away. Like it's just too much. Mm-hmm. And so Project Broadcast helped a lot with that. And I know JJ had kept our Project Broadcast up because so she has some campaigns that I guess they're campaigns, I don't know. But she does do a lot of follow-up with people, but I've got to get that personal connection though. And I did Project Broadcast, but what I saw when I took over Project Broadcast, my points fell in the dumpster. I mean, from the time I put it into effect, I hired a virtual assistant, and it wasn't just Project Broadcast. It was the virtual assistant and the Project Broadcast combined. And then the time of year, it was the horrible, worst, perfect storm in the world.
Did you just lose that personal connection? Do you think that's what happened?
No, because they were responding in Project Broadcast. And so I was able to actually connect through Project Broadcast. I watched it like a hawk. I think it was just too scripted. It wasn't me. I mean, some of the verbiage was me, but it wasn't personal enough.
So Jay just did that with me, Misty, and that really helped me, but I changed it. And I changed it to sound like me, but I also, at the end of each, like, it's Jay's template, but I changed it to be like all me, if that makes sense. But her stages were perfect. And so yes. What I did is I asked them a question. And so it bounces the ping pong ball to them because I'm not going to remember. And then I can have that personal connection with them. And it's working for me, and it has been, but I had to change it all to sound like me because it's different.
Yeah, I did change some of it. And it just, I don't know if it's because I do have such a personal connection with each of my people, like such a deep personal connection. And then they know that when I talk to them, it's more about their specific thing. And so I don't know. I think it was just the perfect storm for me.
I separated my people though, Misty, and I found that too. I have, I send out a project broadcast to my level ones and my husband's because they're mine. And then I send out a different one where I inserted the sponsor's name, my friend's name.
That.
And I said, I know they're going to take that. Okay, well, it just is working for me with them because sometimes they share with me and they don't share with them. So that's what really caught those, like taprooting, like Nikki said, that's helped me taproot, if that makes sense.
And I did find that was helpful in a lot of ways. I did, because I did get to connect with a few of the people that I did not know. But I don't know. I think I just really struggle with that support part of it. And people getting lost. You know, I've got 400 something level ones, and it's just too many.
It is why, you know, of course, width is so important, but you have to figure out a way to like coach that down so that, I'm not saying that you're not doing this, but it's so that you're not, I mean, if your whole team is all you, like you do grow weary, like you can't just keep going at that pace. And I do sometimes see that some of my biggest recruiters on my team, they aren't necessarily the most successful. I know I had one girl one time she doesn't really even actively, she still orders and stuff. And I don't want to like call her out, but she was my highest enroller ever and never got past gold. And I mean, the girl had added like 1,000 level ones. And, I mean, an incredible recruiter, but when you have that many, she wasn't able to give them the support that they needed. And it was hard. And sometimes you can get caught into that trap when you're not able to give people that support that they need. And then they kind of like leave on you. So I know it's a lot of work giving the support to that many people, but it's good. It's a positive that you have that much influence, you know, that people trust you. I mean, that's huge. But yeah, it is definitely an important piece of the puzzle.
I'm wondering also when you have that many people, like if it's more advantageous where they feel that they're being served when you do stuff like Zooms and that kind of thing, where you can serve like a bulk of people and just, you know, call it like whatever.
I never thought about having like a Zoom for customers. It's honestly a great idea, like a troubleshooting Zoom if you want to hop on and talk shop about products and what's working for you and what's not. It's not.
I mean, it might take a minute to get them on board, like where they're used to it, but I think if you did it all the time, then that would be a great way to capture. And you could even do, I'm going to speak to the people that are 6 months or less today, and then, you know, next month maybe I speak to the people that have been doing it for a year, and let's troubleshoot where you're at. And
I think that's where I find trouble is. So I do a Zoom initially with my new people. When they come on board, it's a one-on-one. It's not like that. I mean, I would love to be able to do that. I think people are, well, for me, I'm finding that people are zoomed out.
I'll say Amanda actually does do a great job, I feel like, of supporting her customers. She has a group, a Facebook group that's kind of like a team page, but it's also not just Plexus, which I think is kind of cool. Like she's got people in the group that haven't ordered from her, and they're just friends that are interested in their health and wellness journey. And so she'll do meal planning for them. She'll do like a bunch of different, you know, there's all these different resources that make it valuable for people to be a part of, but then she also shares Plexus. So it's like they get more than just the Plexus support. So I like how that you do that, Amanda.
JJ, maybe we should do that with Elevate. We've got a page that's very similar, but it's really more geared just toward Plexus. Well, we do health stuff on there. I mean, we do health stuff in general. It's not all Plexus. It's, you know, we'll just give examples of, you know, PCOS or, you know, hormonal stuff, but maybe we should incorporate more of that into that page and keep it real consistent, because it's a pretty active page. JJ, how many we have on there now? Like 1,200, 1,300? Jay John, I see your face.
Deja.
So you're like running back to the thing now.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Like one of the things that I'm actually going to be doing for the women's group that I'm running is I'm going to try to start funneling more people into that, like showing more people like this. I'm starting to plan for February, and I think we're going to do like, a week's worth of salads or something like something that just plugs them in. That's nothing to do with Plexus, but then I'm also dripping on them the whole time about Plexus as well. So we do like community events. We do opportunity calls. We do it's called Happy and Healthy. So it's just talking about inflammation and stuff. And so trying to plug people in different ways so that we're serving a lot of people with not necessarily like individual messages to each person. I mean, I do that as well, but
yeah, no, I love it. Any questions? Like, I mean, I want y'all though to walk away like knowing what to do. So like I said, take these topics, spend a little time today, sit down. If you don't have a daily work list that you know exactly what to do when you sit down, then look at these areas and come up with a list so that when you sit down to work, you know what to do. Like, I don't want you to feel lost. I don't want you to sit at your desk and be like, well, I scrubbed Facebook for 30 minutes. I guess I worked, like I want you to like know what you're doing. Oh yeah, Chacha just said, I heard my name. You missed it. You're late now. So if y'all feel lost still after, talking to this, feel free to reach out to me. And we can kind of help you come up with a plan. But also, like I said, there's lots of IPA checklist on the team page. Like, look through the manual. It's tagged at the very top. It's pinned at the top. Some of it's dated, but some of it stays the same. So some of it's still, it's the same things that we're doing. So hopefully this was helpful. But if anybody else have any last minute feedback that y'all want to say, or we all. Well, thank you guys for coming, and let's knock out this month. If anybody is local, who's here? Misty, Amanda, JJ. We're doing a close a month at my house tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. I put it on the calendar, but I forgot to. Oh, you can't?
I need to be there. Oh, I'm stuck in this hell of barbecue cook-off and rodeo.
Oh, you're doing that too? I bet JJ's doing that too, isn't she? Oh, I'm sorry.
I do have a question though. This is really not related to anything we just talked about.